Hello and welcome to another episode of mine, but this time I'm going to talk about something of grave importance, and it concerns Sanjay Gandhi National Park, which is located in the city of Mumbai. So let me start by saying that and stating a very obvious fact that we have a national park in Bombay within city limits. Let that sink in. We have a national park in Mumbai city, in the city, which is just maybe 20 minutes, 5 minutes, 10 minutes from people's houses. And how amazing is that fact, right? That it's so accessible. Go for a morning jog, come back, get ready, and go to work. Well, my friends, but there is a recent development that is being brewing in the municipal corporation, which is famously known as the BMC, Brihan Mumbai Municipal Corporation body, which deals with the development. It's a development authority, right, in Bombay, in Mumbai city. And the recent development is that they have published a report, which I just have the report in front of me, so we'll be getting into that in very soon. But I just wanted to introduce this topic of conversation. Is that there is a draft zonal, I'm just going to read it out. Draft Zonal Master Plan for the eco-sensitive zone of Sanjay Gandhi National Park. So I'll be delving into this, what it means exactly and what it states and everything. But I just want to address one thing. It's really bothering and enraging me to an extent that, I actually feel like quoting Greta and like, how dare you? I won't do that. But quite literally so that they have drafted a plan without kind of understanding what the implications are going to be of this development. So let's just get into that. Introduction is that so there is a developer, so there's a draft, published with a lot of deep analysis. Though it's quite a big document of almost 400 pages, and they have taken the time to draft it out and publish it, and they have given it to the public. It's on the open platform, where I think we have around a month or something to just get back to them if we have. So it's like open for discussion, so we can counter any of the points that are put up, send letters, sign petitions, applications, everything, and voice out our concerns regarding the development. Okay, just quickly a gist of what's actually happening is that any national park. Okay, yeah. So we're talking about the national park, right? What is a national park? It's, when a government sets out a land for either conservation or for public enjoyment that has some kind of cultural, historical, or sensitive importance, or scientific importance, sorry, not sensitive, scientific importance. That's when, you term a park a national park. Like it's of some national importance, right? So I just want to put it out there. It's a national park that we're dealing with and voicing out an opinion with everyone who has been on this journey continuously. I've just come in. There are people like shout-outs to, Chaitanya, who gave an amazing presentation today, to Amrita Bhatacharjee, who's been on this case for a very long time, continuously, consistently, persistently, and we'll do everything in our power to take our park back, yes, or preserve it. And also, whenever we talk about BMC, the body, BMC, somehow I was always happy. Like, I know architects, I know, don't kill me for this, but I don't know, somehow I was really proud of the fact that they have managed to keep Mumbai green. Mumbai is a very green city. It still is, in spite of all the population influx and the construction, the kind of development that Bombay has seen over the last decade or even 20 years. It has still managed to, have some green cover left, which is amazing. I think I take a lot of pride in that, and which is amazing to all these government bodies who have, day and night gone there to see. Of course, there are tree cuttings and everything, but we have heavy penalties for that now. So, you cannot just get away with such things in today's time. So that is really something, like, wow. And then to have this sort of issue come up and, and then to fight for it, because it's so ironic sometimes. I feel like, what are we doing as people? Also, so basically the gist of this whole, I'll just very quickly, for people who are actually not interested, fine, I'll just tell you very quickly. There is a document that has come out saying that they're going to develop part. Okay, so you have basic structure of a national park is you have the core area, which is a forest, cannot be messed with. You have all the infringements, like, you have the peripheral buffer zone. Then you have an eco-sensitive zone, right? and then you have the boundary, and then that's it. Uske bahar, you can whatever you want to do with the city's development authorities land. Within the national park, that comes under the forest authority. So their duties to preserve, development authorities' duties to develop, right? In this border, so the core area is safe, right? No one can mess around with that. This border that we're talking about is what is in danger right now, and how is because the government wants to, the corporation wants to develop it. Why? Eco-sensitive zone is a border of a certain width. Eco-sensitive zones in national parks ideally should be 10 kilometers. In cities, it I think has relaxed a lot. It's come to 1 kilometer. But in Bombay, it's hardly 500 or even 250 meters somewhere. It's just relaxed. 50% fine, 40%. Why? You already have it's literally in the city. There is the buffer zone is to preserve or to save the animals from all the light and noise pollution that goes on outside of the national park. And then you go on to reduce the buffer zone, and then you want to go on to develop in the buffer zone, just being insensitive to the eco-sensitive zone. I'm sorry, it's just so horrible. Why? And why has this buffer of such a big width come to 250 meters or so? Is because it's in Mumbai. Real estate is really higher. Oh, so basically the leopards have to understand that. Oh, right. They live in Bombay. They cannot afford to have a 10-kilometer buffer zone. No, not possible. Right. So I'm sorry. I'm just trying to find humor in this really sad situation. But that's the current scenario. So this is the whole gist. So they are kind of trying to develop the infringed, the border, which is called the eco-sensitive zone, that we term as ESZ. Okay. Our national park is really big, by the way. Sanjay Gandhi National Park. I'll just tell you how much hectares of land it is. It's really huge, right? So this forest has 4 major forests within it. You have a rainforest. You have a perennial forest. There are like amazing studies that people have done, and it's all ecologically. It's all it's like a network of amazing. It's a very eco-sensitive zone. It's like Pandora, and I feel like a Navi, literally fighting for my forest. My people. Such a mess. Anyway, I guess let's just go to the report and let's see what the report says. Okay, so I have the report in front of me. It's drafted by the BMC. It's called the Draft Zonal Master Plan for the Eco-Sensitive Zone of Sanjay Gandhi National Park, and the report has been prepared by certain consultants. I wouldn't want to name everyone, and I'll quickly just go through it point by point so that we know what we are dealing with here and how we can counter these questions. The report, sorry. So of course the table of contents itself is like pages and pages and pages, and so soon scroll by. So basically Sanjay Gandhi National Park introduction. So they basically introduce the park as green lungs, right? Green lungs of the city, which it is. It ranges from Mumbai to Thane to Palghar. And by the way, guys, these are different districts. Mumbai is a different district, Thane and Palghar. The SNGP division spans 106.95 square kilometers, extending across Thane district and Mumbai suburban district in Maharashtra, which is a state. A lot of points are referring to the facts and figures of the park. It also has major lakes, by the way. The Tulsi Lake and the Vihar Lake are like 2 really important lakes where we get our drinking water from, Bombay. Of course, the Powai Lake is there towards the other the southern, that way, side of it. Also, the RA Colony extend the national park, and there is Tungareshwar Park. They are all connected, by the way. It's huge. And I'm right now talking only about SNGP, okay? There are a lot of ranges that show amazing plans, great, modified boundary, division boundary, significance of the park. Serves as a vital ecological and cultural asset within the densely urbanized landscape of Mumbai, Thane and Palghar. It holds immense biological, archaeological, environmental, creational and educational significance with its impact extending from local to international levels. Amazing flora fauna, right, to be conserved there. Environmental value, it acts as the green lungs of Bombay, really. That's why you want to develop it for the Thane and Palghar. Mitigating population and regulating temperature. Guys, this is very important. It literally it protects the catch. It acts as carbon sink. This green lung that we call this and RA Colony majorly helps Bombay's air pollution. Bombay is really polluted, by the way. Like, you can actually go on to say Delhi levels. Bombay levels are no great than Delhi. Air pollution, it's the same. It's just that we have the advantage of a coast. Also, we have really good green cover, and this is it. This is the lungs that acts as carbon sinks, where we actually save a lot of money when it comes to mitigating a lot of air pollutions, temperatures, everything. So this is like really great. It protects the catchment of Vihar and Tulsi lakes, which supply high quality water to both cities. These lakes, which have never dried up, provide a crucial water security buffer, especially during delayed monsoons. Wow, okay. The park's dense vegetation absorbs pollutants, significantly improving air quality and helps regulate urban temperatures by maintaining an ambient temperature of 3 to 5 degrees lower than the surrounding areas. Additionally, the park plays a key role in carbon sequestration, aiding climate change mitigation. Four major rivers of Mumbai, Methi, Boisar, Oshiwara and Daisar originate from this national park. The park is home to a wide variety of endangered flora and fauna, including leopards, 300 bird species, 43 mammal species, and thousands of invertebrates. Yeah, but he chose to put a pigeon's pic here, which is okay. So you know what? It's really amazing. Just read this this whole report. It just shows how valuable it is. And I'll let you go through this report. They have also listed down really good points like anticipated threats to values like deforestation and fragmentation, of course, because there is human activities, right? Edge effect. Edge effect is wherever your forest edge undergoes a lot of changes, so does the city's edge. Biological changes as well, which is known as the edge effect. This also can be due to the climate, not necessarily humans. Then you have hydrology, nutrient cycle, biodiversity, a lot of things, atmospheric effect, forest health, natural disasters, and Bombay rains. It's like crazy. They talk about a lot of biodiversity and ecology. You have the caves, there can be caves, just like really amazing fauna. They also talk about, despite its close proximity to a bustling metropolis of over 20 million people, Sanjay Gandhi National Park boasts remarkable biodiversity. Hi, I'm so sorry. I just put on my earphones because I realized the voice wasn't right. Okay. Let's just move on to past conservation initiatives, because I guess this is the important part. We talk about encroachments, which has been happening since the 1970s, much before that, and there are a lot of petitions that have been moved on court. The court issued a landmark judgment directing the immediate removal of all encroachments. It also ruled the eligible encroachers must be relocated outside the park within 18 months. Several additional court orders followed to ensure effective implementation of judgment. Blah blah blah. Okay, so the present status of encroachments includes. Okay, then they go back to, in 1997, approximately 61,000 encroachments were recorded on forest land within the park division, with about 33,000 families identified as eligible for rehabilitation, having settled there on or before January 1st, 1995. Okay. However, only 25,000 individuals submitted the required documents to prove eligibility. Among them, 12,000 paid the court-mandated contribution, 7,000 between 1999. Okay, fine. So this has been there going on. Crazy. Then the TDR comes in. Protection from fire, they've done this. Waste management, great, which is like really amazing. To combat the growing issue of plastic pollution, the Afroz Shah Foundation launched a citizen science initiative in 2019-2020. Initially limited in scope, the project gradually expanded to cover all tribal settlements within the park. Amazing. So its primary aim was to raise awareness among residents about minimizing plastic use, promoting source level segregation, ensuring organized collection. Amazing. This is really nice. Volunteers had to help get this initiative through. Conservation challenges to the park. So there are a lot of challenges that they have listed: unregulated urbanization and encroachments, human life conflict. Okay, so let me start by take one by one. Polluting and waste dumping. Okay, prohibited activities and deforestation. So after all these, okay, so basically what it says is one by one. Unregulated urbanization and encroachment says that unregulated urbanization and encroachment around the park fragment habitats, reduce biodiversity, and increase human life conflict. ये तो होना ही था. The human life conflicts happen in the zone where there are human settlements, which is there in the eco-sensitive zone, right? These are encroachments, fine, we agree. And when this was happening, whose job was it to, stop it? MCGM. They didn't do anything, or the Forest Authority. So now that we are fighting for the park, they are listing it down and telling us that this has happened. It's not our purview, right? You should have stopped it when it actually happened. But they have done it, and that's Bombay. It's crazy. Expanding. So the settlements started, and then they start expanding because life happens, and you start building villages. Now there are legit villages in that zone, and also then there are small scale industries, which is amazing, great for them, but not so much for the park. Human life wildlife conflict, of course, will happen when you are living in the forest amongst animals, and when the balance goes up. So I don't think so there are any man eaters there, but lots of deer. I think the balance is balanced, but when that doesn't happen, and when animals get older, the ability to hunt goes down, and obviously they're going to attack human babies, pets, dogs, etc. And that's when we cry wolf. And then what happens? Like, what am I supposed to tell to this human wildlife conflict? जब आप buffer zone ही कम कर देते हो, it was supposed to be at least a kilometer. You're making it 250 meters. The conflict it's going to happen, right? Okay, so let's talk about the forest management plan. The Sanjay Gandhi National Park is being managed under a structured conservation strategy with the latest wildlife management plan, implementing zonal. Okay, fine. The core zone, so this is where the interesting part starts. The core zone, which is 6,801 hectares, forms the core of the park, covering the catchment areas of Tulsi and Bihar lakes, along with several rivers and streams. It is home to vital species, includes a mangrove ecosystem in the Basin Creek, predominantly made of untouched reserved forests. The core zone is rich in biodiversity. Great. So these areas are strictly prohibited with limited human activity to ensure the preservation of wildlife. Great. They're not even doing anything here. So the two ranges, Tulsi and Yeur, and these are, the total is around 6,000, which is great hectares. They're not touching this. The ecotourism zone, which is 1,000 hectares. So this includes high potential of ecotourism. Okay, fine, that's okay. So then we go on to the eco restoration zone. This is around 2,000 hectares. This zone covers areas affected by human activity or under restoration, including forest edges, near settlements, cleared encroachments, Adivasi villages, old quarries, degraded forest, and disputed lands. Its main goal is to restore damaged ecosystems. Okay. 2,800 hectares under this restoration zone. Activities like habitat restoration works, watershed development works, effective for the more. Vision and objectives of the proposed management. Vision. You know what? Their vision, objectives, management plans are like amazing, but the problem is here. Now they talk about. Let me go to that page. Okay, so here is the interesting part. Let's get into the legal framework for eco-sensitive zones. Eco-sensitive zone, right? So genesis and need. This decision was taken by the National Board of Wildlife in 2005. The Honorable Supreme Court's decision, the Goa Foundation, filed a public interest litigation (PIL) through writ petition number 460/2004 in the Honorable Supreme Court, raising concerns about the declaration of eco-sensitive zones (ESZ). In response, on December 4th, 2006, the Supreme Court issued an order directing the Ministry of Environment, Forest and Climate Change, MOEFCC, and Climate Change to provide all states and union territories with a final opportunity to submit their responses to a prior letter dated May 27, 2000. Need for eco-sensitive zone guidelines. The Honorable Supreme Court's directive on eco-sensitive zones and their establishment around protected areas has highlighted a significant gap in the process, particularly in the absence of clear guidelines. Okay, fine. So they talk about that also. The procedure to be adopted for eco-sensitive zones. The primary objective, as outlined earlier, is to regulate certain activities around the national parks and wildlife sanctuaries to reduce the adverse effects of these activities on the delicate ecosystem surrounding these protected areas. So this is where it is. The first step towards achieving the goal is to conduct I'm just reading the report for now. Inventory of the land use patterns, which is very important, activities within the vicinity of each of the protected area, including the national parks and sanctuaries, as well as important wildlife corridors. We have a lot of wildlife corridors here, like the leopard corridor and such. This inventory should document the various types and numbers of industries operating around these areas. Mind you, there are a lot of small-scale industries in and around the national park, because of all the tribals who have been settled there for quite a long time, and the families have, they're just expanding. But they also do have a lot of small-scale industries there. Women work, which is, they sell things, they, sell a lot of things there, they make, so, yeah. Big ecosystem already. To carry out this, so basically they had to map it all out, right? To carry out this task, it was suggested that the concerned range officers, because it comes under the, Forest Authority, who are familiar with the local area, be responsible for compiling information within a 10-kilometer radius of their designated range. To support this effort, a small committee could be formed, consisting of the relevant wildlife warden and ecologist and representative, local self-government, and an official from the revenue department of the concerned area. So this eco-sensitive zone, which is, literally bordering the park, also I think is divided into 3 or 4 zones, because you have the BMC, one comes under the TMC, one comes under the Vasai thing, and it's a big thing. So you had groups to do that. So the key responsibilities were determining the extent of eco-sensitive zones, identifying the need for a buffer area, recommending management methods, and suggesting thematic activities for the master plan. This is where the problem is, the master plan. Need for legal framework, of course. So a legal framework is essential for an eco-sensitive zone master plan to ensure structured and enforceable conservation measures. It establishes clear guidelines to prevent harmful activities like deforestation, pollution, and encroachment in eco-sensitive areas. But we are only talking about eco-sensitive areas here because that is what is the discussion of all this. It also helps in providing legal backing for authorities to monitor, regulate, penalize, validate. Oh, okay, fine. Let's see. Let's go further. They started talking about the UN Nations Conference on Human. Okay, fine. That's there. Okay, the Environmental Protection Act is also very important because it's an act of the Parliament of India. It was enacted in May 1986 and came into force 19th November 1986. It has 26 sections and 4 chapters. So the act was passed by the Government of India under Article 253 of the Constitution of India, which empowers the Union Government to enact laws to give effect to international agreements signed by the country. Okay, So, this act is an umbrella legislation that has provided a framework for the environmental regulation regime in India, which covers all major industrial and infrastructure activities. And we always thought it's MOEF, right? Like the architects usually who I guess I love. It's always the Ministry of Environment and Forest and Climate Change now. Okay, so the EPA empowers the center to take all measures as it deems. Okay, fine. So these are all fine. You know, they have environmental standards and everything. So that's great. Where is the problem? I'm just looking for the. So it starts with the planning, right? So I'm just coming to that. So this, the extent of eco-sensitive zone is defined by two boundaries, and the area that falls under these two boundaries of the eco-sensitive zone is 59 square kilometers. Wow, 59 square kilometers. So it's two: the boundary of the national park and then the boundary of the eco-sensitive zone. And then they have listed down a complete list of all the villages, extent and area, and there are 12 villages there. The eco-sensitive zone boundary for the park varies from a distance of 1000 meters to 4 kilometers around the boundary of the park. As per the MOEFCC notification of the eco-sensitive zone, the following villages form part of the eco-sensitive zone of the park. Okay, it's great. So they have again listed down every square kilometer of that jurisdictions. Okay. Mumbai metropolitan region, the vast metropolitan area, really encompassing Mumbai, and it's okay. So why are we coming to MMR right now? Okay, talking about districts. So basically, okay. So there are these bodies that they are saying because urban region is the MMR. Then you have districts. So the urban region, there are 4 districts. There is Mumbai suburban. I just previously I mentioned it extends to all these districts, right? Actually, Mumbai suburban, Thane, Palghar, and the water body, which is the Ulhas Vasai Creek. So they have just defined what these bodies are. What is MMR? What is the Brihan Mumbai Municipal Corporation? What is the BMC? What is the TMC, which is Thane Municipal Corporation? And MBMC, which is the Mira Bhayandar Municipal Corporation, where the extent is still there. And then the VVCMC, which is the Vasai Virar City Municipal Corporation. So the eco-sensitive zones actually, it's like, it's reaching out to all these different districts. That's why all these different districts come into the picture. The national park is so vast. And I'm really glad it's so vast. Anyway, it's just shrinking. I just hope it doesn't. So they have just so the consultant has analyzed all the maps, right? So they, like we architects do, we take the India map and then we zoom into our favorite state and city, and then we come to the park, which is really green and big. So that's where it is. And this is cut across of there's this Palghar, Thane, and Mumbai suburban, which is major part of that is the park is in Mumbai, a regional setting. Okay, they've just said the area of it, the latitude, longitude, favorite part. Okay. It's eco-sensitive zone, they have clearly mentioned, spans from 100 meters at places to a maximum of 4 kilometers. Great, that's still there. Fine. Then, okay. The eco-sensitive zone occupies, this is really interesting when I didn't know. The eco-sensitive zone occupies most of the northern suburbs of Mumbai. To the west lies the suburbs of Goregaon, Malad, Kandivali, Borivali and Dahisar. Some part of it comes in that. I think we have the highway, right, the Western Express Highway. It's probably to that side of it. And to the east lies the suburbs of Bhandup and Mulund. To the south lies RA Colony, Mill Colony and University campus of IIT Bombay. Fine, okay. Regional connectivity, the connectivity. It's got main entrance, RA Gate, Borivali entrance, Bhandup complex, Yor Naka, Manpada, and Sasu Nagar entry gate. I'm so sorry, I didn't know this last one. Okay. So they've documented the whole thing. They've shown pics and everything, the road connectivity, railway connectivity, airport connectivity, mass rapid transport system, waterways connectivity, okay, the same one, sorry. Okay, then the demography of the land, the estimated population, the ward population this is only for the eco-sensitive zone, is estimated population for the eco-sensitive zone of BMC is 587,000. Then you have from MB, that is the Mira Bhayandar one, which is 15,000. Then you have the Vasai Virar one, which is 1,900. That's one. Then you have the Vasai Taluka one, which is 1,000. Then you have the TMC, which is 28,000. So okay, quite a lot of population there to be relocated. They have some maps, lines, and they get a very, very general average temperature and rainfall of that place, humidity, water bodies. Wow, beautiful, cute. I'm falling in love with the park again. I'm just looking all over again. Okay, fine. So I'm just going to the report. Fine. So Basically, what they have done is they are showing, this eco-sensitive zone is divided into 4 parts. Each of them they've mapped out what comes under what. So just for example, if I'm going to take the existing land use distribution of the ESZ of basically what they've done, I'm so sorry. What they have done is that they have given this existing land use distribution of every BMC, TMC, VBMC, MBMC and everything. हर एक का अलग अलग they have given existing land use. They've given a pie, like they have mapped it out well, and then they have given a pie chart which says this much percentage is green area, this much percentage is green area other. I don't know what that other means. Then industrial use, traffic transportation, public use, public utilities, eco-sensitive area, again other likha. I don't know what that is, because there is eco-sensitive area, national park. Then there is slum use, residential use, commercial use. So they've divided specific use, agricultural land. They have divided this whole pie chart into this percentages of land use. इसमें से BMC has 18% of green cover. Then the total was around, I'm just going through the pie chart, so that's very important because that's where the development is actually going to happen, right? This SE, this eco-sensitive zone. So the identified conflict zones, they talk about a lot of things that, about human-animal conflict, and वो तो होना ही था. And also, a lot of fatalities. Recently, the CM has also, taken off leopards from the endangered species list, but because of the obviously numbers increasing and everything, an imbalance and everything, but they're living in their area. They aren't living in. Okay, anyway, so that's another discussion we had. They talk about leopard adaptability. Leopards are highly adaptable old leopards and have learned to survive in semi-urban environments, increasing the probability of conflict. Okay. So, identified conflict zones: RA Colony, the Park Perimeter, Film City, Powai Vikhroli, Forest Fringes. So today we had a really interesting. I've just been privy to 3 of these discussions, but today a gentleman raised a very nice, important, valid point, and kind of, they're in the face of everyone that there are these lot of buildings that have come up in, I think, RA Colony side, Borivali side. The buildings just they're like abutting the park. They just, I guess, share a compound wall. But in RA Colony there are a lot of huge buildings come up, tall buildings, which skyscrapers literally right in the middle of the park. Now we don't know whether it might be just on the eco-sensitive zone, and they just got away with it. And the thing is, they got away with it, and it just the body let it happen. So are they going to let just take away the complete eco-sensitive zone? Why so insensitive in the eco-sensitive zone? And then they're talking, they're talking about developing the eco-sensitive zone. Hear me out. Then having a buffer, because there's development in the eco-sensitive zone, right? So then you cannot start the forest immediately. Then you need to have a buffer. So they're basically leaving a buffer, and then basically just shrinking the forest. You're saying that no, we are not touching the forest, but it's actually touching the forest. And the forest will just survive. It's not like a building. We just build a compound wall and that's it. This is your building. That's the forest. That's not how forests work. It's an ecosystem. There is a lot of things that goes under the ground. There is a biodiversity which has a radius. It's like a butterfly effect. When something happens here, it kind of emulates it. Like right now, the current scenario, actually, there are developments. It's still acting as a buffer to the forest area. Now, if you develop here, creating a buffer in the forest area, literally actually diminishing the forest. And then they're talking about building malls in this sensitive zone. Small malls. They're talking about small malls and buildings and all. Really, malls? Bad idea. Like you're literally in this sensitive zone. You're basically supposed to, if there are any encroachments, relocate them, clear it out, and relocate them. Not build more of that sensitive zone and make a fort of buildings, and then you have a forest with it. Oh my God! It's not Central Park, guys. It's a national park. Like, what are we even doing? Mall is the worst thing that could come up anywhere. Lest forest mein mall laga do. People don't want to go to malls. It's a conditioned building. You need to provide parking. You need to provide services. The kind of heat it's going to emulate and kill the birds and animals in the forest. Why are you creating a mall? To get people? People are going. It's a national park. People are still going. We want nature. We don't want malls. I know I'm an architect. I still love nature. Bad idea. Cancelling it, man. This is just ridiculous, And then we are talking about, how will the forest act as a carbon sink when you're literally you're bound, you're like choking the forest? Seriously, guys, not happening. Not cool. Yeah, so that was my today's discussion. Save the parks, save the national parks, save your forest, guys. Like, literally, I feel like, like I mentioned earlier, I feel like a Navi protecting my Pandora because I really do. And like, I'm so enraged by even the thought of people thinking that the solution to this already somewhat developed eco-sensitive zone is to develop it further. I mean, I'm not even a town or an urban planner. I don't understand. Like, what is the thought? Okay, you want to develop, करो ना कहीं और. Okay, I understand Bombay has no place. Then stop developing. Start protecting. I think we need to start conserving. We need to start protecting. We need to voice out our opinions more. And probably this plan will still go ahead because of I think a lot of investment and everything. But also, I guess if you don't talk and if you don't kind of raise your concern, um, especially about a national park. It's a national park. It's not my community garden that I'm fighting for. It's a national park. So let's see what happens. Fingers crossed, and this is gonna happen. It's in process actually right now. So people are there are a lot of hearings that are happening in Mumbai. So if you want to go, you can go. It's a public hearing. Please go if you're interested, and just hear them out. Some of them are just countering the citizens by, because of course, see, we are not that legally, we don't know a few of the terms, laws, bylaws keep changing ऐसे, मतलब आज ये तो कल वो, तो new amendments आते रहते हैं. Quite strict when it comes to the building department, of course, but when it comes to conserving, it's not that fine. आपको building नहीं conserve करना है, मत करो यार. This is nature. So yeah, anyway, I don't want to blabber. I don't want to this is what it is. This is my take on it. This is my say. Thank you for watching and listening. Bye.